welcome back. It's Megan Taylor with another Make It with Megan. Today I'm going to talk to you all about how to spread happiness through your handwriting in the mail. I know all of us love to get some happy mail. I know that when I go to the mailbox and I'm like sorting through, it's like coupon, bill, catalog, but I get so excited whenever I see an envelope that somebody wrote on. Even if it's not in happy hand lettering, I feel like your handwriting is such a legacy, like that's a gift of time that you gave to that person when you sat there and filled it out, whether it's for their birthday or whether it's a thank you note or even an invitation, but especially whenever you're doing holiday cards. That's something that can kind of fall to the bottom of our list, and I know now all these cool services will offer to print the addresses for free. No shame in that game if that's what you want to roll with. But for me, I actually find a lot of time that I really enjoy sitting down and taking the time to letter my holiday envelopes. And so today I'm going to show you two of my favorite options when it comes to addressing envelopes, not even just for the holidays, but any time of year that you want to add a little bit of extra flair to the mail. When I'm lettering on envelopes, the size that I like the most often is just the standard, regular, like holiday size. If you're trying to write on a smaller envelope, you may want to like decrease your marker power, just making them smaller. I write huge. And so another thing that I do is I put my return address on the back, like always, all the time. I'll actually flip it over and put my return address on the back. Most of the time using a stamp, which you can order at allshewrotenotes.com. So when I'm addressing the front, I want to make sure that I leave space for the address stamp, so like the postage stamp, which you can buy all kinds of cute, fun ones there. But leave space for it, but don't stick it on yet. Otherwise, if you mess up, that's going to cost you 53, 56 cents, depending on what, whatever day it is of the week that the postage stamp is changing. So don't stick that on until you're finished. Again, like I've said before, when you're doing something for somebody else, making their name the star of the show. Like everything else is kind of like the backup dancer. So if you see on this one that I did, it says the Taylor's really big at the top, and then we go down all these lower letters, everything else is secondary to that big last name. And so instead of naming individually each and every person, I just kind of sum it up, the Taylors, anyone who lives in your household, good tidings to you. So I'm going to show you this option here on one of our envelopes today. So when I'm lettering on an envelope, especially for the holidays, I like to use Crayola markers because they don't bleed through the paper. So not worrying about, if you've already stuffed your holiday card in there, not worrying about that ink going through and getting on there. So if you're writing you're heading, this is headed to a family, you want to write their name, their last name, really big. And so this one is to the Smiths. So I'm drawing in red and then going back, adding my lines next to my downstrokes. If you notice here, I'm adding the line, but it's also doing some of the shading for me too. So I'm drawing the letter, adding the line, and then going back and shading in. And then I'll take a second color, like the green, and go up here and write V. Always doing that out of order, not trying to squeeze it all and fit it all together. And then if you're ever off center, if that matters to you, I love doing this. And I call these spirit fingers, like it's just like some energy right there on your envelope, but it kind of helps you like kind of get it back right if you've gone off course here. So when you do their address on an envelope like this, I will actually write the address pretty simple. I don't add a lot of color and flair and curls to the actual address of the house. When you're writing on holiday envelopes too, you don't have to follow all the formal rules that you would for like a wedding where you're spelling out road or you're spelling out apartment or spelling out avenue. Like you just go with what works. Like do you, whatever will fit there. If it's to your benefit to spell it out, then like by all means go for it to help you get your centering right. But otherwise I would just roll with whatever you've got. Sometimes I'll get creative on the city and then go back to a basic, more simple font for the state. Always keeping my numbers really readable. You wanna make sure that they don't get too crazy. These are being read either by a machine or by a post person, delivering that to the mailbox. So if you got really creative and wild with your numbers, it might not make it where you actually want it to go. So here's like a more simple layout for that one. And then just kind of the tried and true envelope that I was going to show you is just my regular handwriting. So this is what I would call my skinny pen script. I'm lettering with a black gel pen. This is actually from the Dollar Tree. I love buying these, like 2 in a pack, just really good basic black gel pens. When I write in this style, I actually don't go back and add extra shading or add extra coloring. I'm writing all in my whimsical cursive script, but I'm moving pretty quick so that I can kind of keep everything there and keep everything succinct. So I'm going to address one of these for you now. That's pretty hard. It's harder not to talk. I can't write and talk at the same time, or else I'll write whatever I was saying. So whenever you're using a font like that, just being able to keep it all uniform, it just gives it more of a formal, elegant style. And so this is what it looks like when it's finished. That is my skinny pen script, so pretty much just my regular cursive with a lot of extra swirls and curls. And then here is my happy hand lettering on the envelope for the Smiths. So again, writing your name on the back and then putting a cute address stamp. This is one of the products that we cover in our book, Happy Hand Lettering. So this was the best-selling book that came out in 2019. There's all kinds of products just like this, all kinds of examples and tips and tricks, even more than I showed you here, that you can dive right into if you would like. Thanks again so much for tuning in to another Make It with Maghon. Please tag us if you dive in and you do this. If you need any tips or encouragement, I'll be cheering you on. I usually start in November to be able to get them out early. So we appreciate you watching with us, and we look forward to seeing you again next time. That's all she wrote.